Hey everyone, welcome to season 2, episode 1 of CK and CK at the movies. Yes, we're on Zoom now. We could talk about that later. I'm your host, Cameron Kircher.
And I'm your other host, Cole Kachejian, back in the seat. As always, I'm so happy to be here. Aren't you happy to be here?
Very much, Cole.
It is weird kind of being in this format now. And for all of you, it must be weird to be seeing our faces, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
It's the first time on CK and CK where you have to unfortunately look at his face and have the privilege to look at mine. It's very exciting. We have a very spooky beginning for this season because Halloween is coming up and it's spooky season, my favorite time of the year. Also, my birthday's coming up, so maybe someone here might want to get me a movie or some movie tickets or something. That'd be kind of nice. I wouldn't be asking for them, but like that would be kind of nice. In any case, if you don't know, I'm dressed up as Harry Potter from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, which is one of my favorite films of all time. I think it's honestly very Oscar worthy. And oh no, my computer is shaking. Hopefully no earthquakes are happening. On the back of my shirt, I got Potter, and I think that's pretty cool. And I got Cedric Diggory's wand, who dies in Goblet of Fire. So I felt like that was really important to have here. And just as something special for you guys, I also brought letting the light adjust a little bit. Okay. Um Problems. This is Severus Snape's wand, so that's really, really cool. And I got chocolate frogs, and I got wand cases, and a butterbeer glass from the Three Broomsticks or the Lucky Cauldron or wherever else that you go. So it's Halloween time. You gotta have a costume, and I have no idea what Cameron is wearing. What are you supposed to be?
I'm a spy. The first movie we're talking about today is a brand new release called Amsterdam. It's Amsterdam. Amsterdam, directed by
Amsterdam?
Yep. Directed by the David O. Russell. The plot goes, it follows three friends who witness a murder of a retired general's, and no, just one, it's a single general.
It's
And
one
unfortunately,
general that's retired.
and unfortunately become the very suspects of the crime itself. This film is based on true events and exposes one of the darkest secrets and plots in all of history. And man, what a history this film has, as it's got a great cast, one of the great casts out there. It's got Christian Bale, Margot Robbie, John David Washington, Chris Rock, Anya Taylor-Joy, Zoe Saldana, Mike Myers, Michael Shannon, Timothy Oliphant, Andrea Riceborough, Taylor Swift, Matthias Schoenaerts, Alessandro Nivola, with Rami Malek and Robert De Niro. Just one of the great casts of Hollywood and of all time, I think. It's one of those where it's just every single person has their right spot. And it's one of those casts that also works together well when they work. Because you sometimes you get those scenes where it's on their own, and then there's scenes where they come together, and that's where it really shines, in my opinion. Cole, what did you think of Amsterdam? Damn.
Well, damn. I didn't know that we were talking about Amsterdam.
What do you
I
mean?
thought I thought we were doing exclusively like horror films for the first episode because it's
Did you
spooky
not get my
season.
email?
You don't. I never got an email. Um,
I sent it to colekajian69 at yahoo.net.
don't think that's me. You might have forgotten like a period in there or something. Um, and also whatever. Yeah,
Oh, you
sure.
don't have a review. Is that what you don't have to lie. Just say, I don't have a review.
When do you ever have an actual review?
All right. I think this
Yes.
movie is really special. It's probably one of the great movies of the year. It's got one of the great casts. I've said it before and I will say it again. It's got a great cast. Um,
It does have a great cast, and I feel like that's what the movie is really all about when it comes down to it, don't you think?
yeah, but you didn't see the movie, so I don't want to hear it.
I
I think
well,
this movie,
I didn't say that.
you done?
what I did say is that I didn't know we were reviewing it. But what I do want to say, since I got the special preview of the film,
Mhm.
um, is that it I guess it can be spooky when you think about it, because like it's in the dark a lot of the time, and the dark is kind of scary.
Yep.
So kind of like you.
Not true at all. Cole, would you recommend this movie?
I,
Because I think it's
I,
one of those movies, excuse me, it's one of those movies where I think it's so great that, giving a number or giving it any kind of review, I think it's just pointless. I think it's just more, do you approve or do you not approve? Do you recommend, do you not recommend? So Cole, would you recommend Amsterdam?
I would definitely recommend Amsterdam. It's a damn good film, and I personally, if I had to rate it, I would give it five pumpkins
Okay.
because you know it's
Um,
it's it's a good it's a good film.
there are no pumpkins in the movie. That doesn't make any sense.
Well, it doesn't need to make sense because pumpkins and stars are the same thing for this episode. So suck it.
Okay. Now on this since we're starting off, it's a new season. We want to start things off right. We're going to introduce a lot of new segments, a lot of things that are I think people are going to be wanting to tune in for and looking forward to. And it's one of those segments that I think it's going to be a classic, I think. It's going to be called featured movie of the CK and CK at the movies. So,
Yes, this is a really exciting new segment. We might have to work on some things in regards to how we promote that next
shut
time.
up. Just roll a
Okay.
clip.
Okay, here's the clip.
My name is Wayne Campbell. Ah, the Mirthmobile. This is my best friend, Garth Elgar. Hi.
Wow, that was a pretty good clip.
Yeah. All right. This week's movie is Wayne's World, just one of the great all-time comedies from Mike Myers. Definitely a comedic hero of mine. Um, the film's from 1992, so just one of the banner years of movies, in my opinion, especially when it comes to comedies. And that's kind of what, if you really, it is a comedy, and that's what I like. It's something that can make me laugh. If I'm ever feeling down in the dumps when I'm thinking about Cole Kachejian, I could just get brought up by Wayne's World. And it's also PG-13, which is great. So it's great for the young ones. If you've got a young small child who's 13, or even Grandpa Joe can sit in and watch Wayne's World, and it's one of those movies that I think just stands the test of time. Um, and Cole, did you like Wayne's World?
Wayne's World is a fun movie, not spooky related, but it is a pretty good film. I would recommend it. It's one of those classic films that you can watch with your buddies, when you're just trying to hang out, not pay attention too much, but at the same time, like have a good laugh with. So I again would probably give it like five pumpkins out of five. So that's pretty exciting, and I think Mike Myers has so much range as an actor. I'm sure you would agree, Cameron. And he goes from everything like Austin Powers to Shrek, which I actually didn't know that Austin Powers voiced Shrek, and also the mass murderer that we're about to talk about in this next part.
Yes. The next movie that we're going to be talking about is another Mike Myers class. It's going to be a future classic, I think. It's called Halloween Ends. 4 years after her last encounter with masked killer Michael Myers, Laurie Strode, played by Jamie Lee Curtis, is living with her granddaughter and trying to finish her memoir. Myers hasn't been seen since, and Laurie finally decides to liberate herself from rage and fear and embrace life. However, when a young man stands accused of murdering a boy that he was babysitting, it ignites a cascade of violence and terror that forces Laurie to confront the evil she can't control. Cole, what did you think of Halloween Ends?
Halloween Ends is, I think, a great send off for this franchise.
Mhm.
Mike Myers really comes into his role once again,
Mhm.
and just does phenomenal at the type of scares
But
that
he doesn't make those noises.
no, he doesn't make those noises. He doesn't make any noises, which
Yeah.
is what kind of adds to the fear behind his character. And yet he almost makes me feel kind of safer when compared to Cameron's face. Like I feel like I can feel protected by that guy if I ever had to fight Cameron. So I think that's pretty cool. And for that reason, I would definitely recommend this film. It's very exciting, and I think Jamie Lee Curtis, who is playing the leading lady, is a certified badass.
Um, Now I'm going to talk about the movie review and rather than give all this kind of personal stuff that doesn't matter. It's one of the great movies I think of this year. And I want to. It's one of the scariest movies of the year. I think that's what makes it the greatest movie of the year because I think we try to make movies that can be scary for scary topics like murder, and that's what it is. I think as a movie, and this is something that I don't think has ever been done before in Hollywood, is call a movie ends because when you go to the movies you want to see something that starts, you want to start and then eventually finish, but they're putting the end right up front. And what's confusing is like when you go to sit down, the title comes up and it says Halloween Ends and you're like, oh, is it time to leave? But it turns out it's just the beginning of a great film called Halloween Ends. So that was very interesting. It's not something that I would have done personally, um, but I think it's a really great send off to this franchise that's been around for a couple years. It's kind of the best part of a kind of a three movie series, and that's what I like because you have Halloween and then okay, if I'm being
Cameron,
honest,
Cameron,
what?
Cameron. Do you think this is the first movie in the franchise?
No, the third movie in the franchise.
Third movie in the franchise.
Yeah. There was Halloween in 2018, and now
Right,
this is an issue that I had. So the
wait,
first movie is called Halloween,
right.
and that makes sense. And then the second movie was called Halloween Kills. Okay, that
Yes.
makes sense because it's the second movie. You need two words. But when it comes to this movie, the third movie, it's only Halloween Ends. If we called it like Halloween The End or something, I think that would be interesting because it would try to be thematic to words. But
Like
you know
the
what?
end of I feel like the end of Halloween maybe sounds a little bit better than Halloween the end.
Or even
Or like
calling it,
signing, like the signature, like the
yeah.
end, like Cole, like sincerely love you, Cole, like Halloween, the end.
Yeah. But but at the same time, just because a movie has a bad title doesn't mean you shouldn't see the movie. There are plenty of bad titles out there. And I know that, that's happened and that's okay. And that's okay. So I think in the end, it's a good movie. It's definitely one of the better movies I've seen this year. Definitely one of the scarier movies that I've seen this year. And it's something that I would recommend. I wouldn't recommend it to kind of the younger people, the people that would get scared.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of murder and mayhem that kind of goes on. Um, I something I don't know why it's like on the tip of my tongue was like made before the 2018 Halloween that kind of brings together a lot of the stories that we see in these last three films.
Well, horror
Um,
movies have been around forever. So,
yeah, but like these Halloween films, they just seem like they've been almost going on forever. Yet, you know, I guess it is a trilogy
yeah.
based off of what you're telling me. I'm not like the strongest Michael Myers person or Halloween fan.
Clearly.
However, I do like these films, and I do feel that the memoir is going to be very interesting to probably read in like the collector's like Blu-ray
Mm,
edition.
yeah.
That Jamie Lee Curtis's character writes, because that's what the film is really about, her memoir.
Hmm.
And that has probably it really does not focus on Michael Myers as much.
Yeah, you were probably asleep during those parts. But I think it's a good movie. I'd recommend it. Cole, would you recommend it?
I would recommend it, but I
Good.
wouldn't recommend it
Um,
before, watching the other movies first. I think you should watch the other Halloween films first.
Didn't ask for that. I want to thank everyone for watching today's episode of CK and CK at the Movies. We're very excited to be back. We were on a bit of a hiatus. Uh,
Yeah,
I mean,
we're not
fine. I
used
mean,
to it.
I guess you'll see it if you're looking online or anything. I got kicked out of college. It's what it was. There's not a whole lot of bad blood, which I'm happy about. But it's a show. This is a show that I care about. I care about movies. I care about expert opinions, and that's why I've asked Cole to stick around for at least a couple more episodes. Um, Very thankful, Cole, for coming on to this project. We'll see if there's a future for you. Um, but yeah. I want to thank everyone. I hope everyone has a very good night. I hope everyone gets to check out at least one of the movies that we talked about today. Um, Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.